which is on role of insurance agents. What insurance agents are all about, what role actually they play, what are the rights and responsibilities of the agents, and how the business of insurance is being carried out with the help of agents. Those things we will discuss today. Now, as we all know, we have already discussed it earlier that insurance is a business whereby it deals with the people's money by way of accepting the risks to which the individuals are being exposed to which all the economic assets are being exposed to. The insurance companies basically carry out their business. And the insurance companies, with the help of certain intermediaries, basically try to reach at their targets, who are none other than the owners of the assets, whereby we have found that the assets can either be in the form of life assets or it can be in the form of non-life assets. So agent basically is considered to be the important linkage between the insurer and the insured. We have already pointed out who the insurer is and who the insured is. Insurer, as you know, is none other than the insurance company which undertakes the risk, and insured is none other than the owner of the asset who is supposed to insure the asset which he or she owns against the risk to which the asset is being exposed. So therefore, we can say that agents are the ultimate intermediaries of insurance companies who directly come face to face with the insured. Therefore, they act as a linkage between the insurer and the insured. So it is important on our part how the agents help the insurance companies in procuring the insurance business, in facilitating the insurance business, and in developing the business of insurance in different countries. Now, agents, as you know, generally act as a part of the distribution channel. If you think of any product, so no product which is being manufactured by a certain company, which is being produced by a company, is coming to the consumer directly from the manufacturer or directly from the producer. So the producer or the manufacturer must have to use certain distribution channel through which it can channelize the product from the production point to the consumer's point. Same thing happens with the insurance companies also. Although they are not manufacturing anything, they are not producing anything, but they go on to offer some products for which they are supposed to provide the services. And services are considered to be products. So the insurance policies which have been designed by the insurance companies to cater the different types of needs and requirements of the owners of the assets basically are being sold to the owners of the assets who are supposed to be the insured by the help of the agents. So while discussing about the development officer's role, we found that the development officer, who is supposed to be one of the employees of the insurance companies, a salaried employee of the insurance company, it basically helps in facilitating the growth of sales of the product, and it does so with the help of its agency channel. And it is the development officers in the insurance companies who are actually at the helm of affairs of appointing the agents, giving sufficient training or adequate training to the agents, and ensuring that the agents are facilitating the business of insurance in a proper fashion. So agents are ultimately the interface between the company, insurance company, and the insured. And to become an agent, there are certain qualification criteria which is being prescribed by the IRDA. You know that IRDA, which basically stands for the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority, it is considered to be the regulating authority of the business of insurance in India. So IRDA has come out with certain guidelines, certain criteria which are needed to be fulfilled on the part of an agent to act as an insurance agent in India. So we'll go on to find out what the criteria are, what should be the approach of the agents, and in what way the agents should go on to facilitate the business of insurance, particularly from the Indian perspective. So I'm going to share some slides with you. You please go through those slides and try to take a screenshot of that. And in due course, we'll go on to discuss about the different facets of insurance agency. Is it visible to all of you? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, as the slide suggests, that companies which have got due license from the IRDA to act as insurance companies can only act as insurance company in India. And as you know, prior to the liberalization era, where we went on to privatize the insurance business in India, went on to open the insurance sector in India, it was LIC in the life insurance sector, which was considered to be the monopolist, and it was the GIC which was operating with the help of its four subsidiaries like New India Assurance, the Oriental Insurance, the National Insurance, and the United Insurance. They were the monopolist in the general insurance business. But with the onset of liberalization in 1991, in the year 1993, on the recommendation of Malhotra Committee, actually privatization was being allowed in the insurance sector. And since then, more private players started entering into the business of insurance in India. And for that, in 1999, the IRDA was set up, because prior to that, it was the Ministry of Finance, which was basically going on to regulating the business of insurance in India. But because more players had come on account of the opening up of the insurance sector, so it was felt by the government that a separate entity should be formed so that it can take care of the regulation of the business of insurance in India. Accordingly, IRDA was set up. So IRDA, just like RBI is acting as the regulating authority of all banking business in India, IRDA is acting as the authority to supervise as well as to regulate the business of insurance in India. So it is the IRDA which needs to provide the license to the insurance companies to operate as insurance company in India, and it is the IRDA which also has to provide licenses to all the intermediaries through which the business of insurance is being facilitated by the insurance companies. And as we know that agents are the ultimate link between the insured and the insurer, so it is important on the part of IRDA that it should provide due license to the agents who are working both in the life insurance sector as well as in the general insurance sector. And the first and foremost criteria which is required on the part of an agent, which is needed to be fulfilled on the part of an agent, is basically related to the age factor. And no minor can act as agent. You might have come through the fact that in our contract law, there is a sub law which is basically being named as the law of agency. And in the contract law itself, we know that minors cannot enter into a contract. And in law of agency also, we can say that the minor cannot act as agents, because agents basically go on to work on behalf of the principal. So in case of insurance business, it is the insurance companies which act as the principal, and agents basically work on behalf of their principal. So it is therefore required on the part of the IRDA to ensure that whoever works as an agent, they must have attained the age of adulthood or must have attained the age of 18 years. After that, a qualification criteria is also being set by IRDA regarding the agents. Because India is a vast geographical based country, or it is a vast country with wide range of geographical areas. So for the sake of convenience of doing insurance business in those wide range of areas in India, the IRDA has divided the areas into two major groups. One belongs to the rural areas, one belongs to the urban area. And for rural area, the qualification criteria is different. And for urban areas, the qualification criteria for agents is different. Particularly if you think of the academic qualification. And in urban area, if anybody wants to or anyone wants to become an agent of any insurance company, then he or she must have to pass minimum 12 standard. So minimum 12 standard pass candidates can act as agents if they want to uh, act as agents or want to facilitate the business of insurance on behalf of any insurance company in the urban areas. By urban area, we mean the city or the area where the total number of population exceeds 5,000. If the number of population falls below 5,000, then it can be considered as a rural area. So for urban area, the qualification criteria is 12 standard pass, and for uh, mm, rural area, the qualification criteria is 10 standard pass. Only then the persons can be eligible to apply for becoming an agent in the insurance sector. Now, whatever services the agents are providing on behalf of the company, whereby the company is considered to be the principal, because they are trying to promote the product of their principal, they are trying to facilitate the selling of the product of their principal. So, whatever services they are rendering for those services, they are supposed to get some remunerations, because without remuneration, nobody can provide you free service. So, an agent is supposed to get some remuneration for the services it renders to the company. And it is the insurance company for which the agent is working, which will have to pay the required remuneration to the agent. And the remuneration is basically in the form of a commission. The depending upon the value of insurance, or depending upon the volume of insurance business that you have facilitated or you have procured on behalf of the company can go on to provide you with some commissions, which is basically being reflected in a relative term or in percentages term. That means suppose you sell one policy whereby the policy value is at a higher level, then certain percentage of that policy amount or that premium amount will be given in the form of commission. And since the policy is supposed to be continued year after year, so year after year, depending upon the value of the premium, certain percentage is being fixed by IRDA, which will be given to the agent in the form of commission. So basically, the agent receives commission on the premiums paid by the insured, both the first premium being paid at the time of purchasing the policy as well as the renewal premiums while trying to renew the policy. And they have to solicit and procure new insurance business in a manner that is consistent with interests of policyholders and the insurance company in the following manner. What are the manners? So first one is it is the responsibility of the agents that they should contact the prospects for life insurance as well as general insurances, study their needs, and persuade them to buy the product. If they feel that the product is suitable for meeting their needs, then they can offer them with the product. Complete all related formalities, that is filling of a proposal form, collecting premium, arranging medical examination, age proof reports, and other information required by the underwriter. So these are the basic things which are basically related to the life insurance business, and it is being highlighted in this slide, the life insurance business. In case of general insurances, some other documents are required, some other informations are also required, which are needed to be disbursed by the policyholder. So it is the agent who must have to complete all related formalities by assisting the prospects or by assisting the prospective policyholder. After the sale is completed, once the product is being sold and the insured has purchased the insurance product, the role of agent doesn't end there. Rather, the agent, after the sale of the product, must have to ensure that the policy continues without a lapse. Because there is a term for the policy. In case of life insurances, as we have already pointed out, the policy term is indefinite. It can be taken for 10 years, for 5 years, for 7 years, for 15 years, for 20 years, for 30 years also. So during that time period, the policy is needed to be continued. Then only the renewal premium can be paid, and on the basis of the renewal premium, the commission percentage will also be given to the agent. And in case of general insurances, as I have pointed out to you all, that in case of general insurances, the term of the policy is normally 1 year, and every year the insured is supposed to renew the policy. May it be the two-wheeler policy, four-wheeler policy that is related to the motor insurances, may it be the fire insurance policy, or the marine insurance policy, or the health insurance policy. You need to continue that policy by renewing it year after year. So it is the responsibility of the agent that they must have to ensure that the policy continues. The policy doesn't lapse till it matures or till it results in a claim. Because why this is necessary? Because there is a lock-in period for the policy. If a policy suppose continues for a period of 3 years, then the maturity claim or the claim amount can be claimed by the insured. Otherwise, the insurance company might not go for it, depending upon the circumstances. So generally, it is maintained by the insurance companies that for 3 years, the risk is not supposed to happen. And if that happens within that 3 years, in case of general insurances, definitely the payment will be made. But before that, some investigations will be made by the insurance personnel, who are basically in the form of loss assessors or surveyors, who generally go on to survey why the loss occurs, what is the exact amount of loss. Because in general insurance, on account of the applicability of the principle of indemnity, the actual amount of loss has to be compensated. So for that, the surveyor must have to survey properly, and with the help of the loss assessor, they need to assess what has been the actual loss amount occurred, so that that actual loss amount will be compensated. But in case of life insurances, normally the risk against which the life insurance is being taken, it is presumed to not to happen within 3 years. But in some extraordinary cases, might be within 3 years some mishappenings happen, whereby the insurance company will have to investigate that matter. If it satisfies itself, yes, it's a genuine case, then the claim will be given. So once a policy is sold, the agent becomes part of the family, because as you know, when you become an insured with an insurance company, or when you have purchased a policy from an insurance company, you become an extended family member of that company. And agents, since are working on behalf of the insurance company, they are also being treated as a family member. So the once the selling of product is over, the role of the agent is not over. Rather, the agent becomes more involved in the family. So you should keep in touch with the policyholder and see to it that all the renewal premiums are paid on the due date. And for that, the agent should keep a record of all the policies sold by him and approach the policyholder before the due date to make sure that has sufficient funds to pay the premium. And normally 1 month before, an intimation is being given by the agent to its customers that your premium amount is due after a month, so you be ready with that amount, so that it will be easier on the part of the insured to pay the premium. Then the process of grant of license, as I said to you, without getting a license from the IRDA, no agent can work for any insurance company. The license is basically being given by IRDA, but for that, the companies basically work as a facilitator between the agent and the IRDA. So it is not the agents who are directly getting the license, rather it is the company for which the agents have been appointed, particularly by the development officers. That company will take care of it, how the agent will get the license. So for that, you must know that there is a 21 days classroom training to be provided by the insurance company to all its agents who have been appointed by the uh, uh, development officers. After completion of the training period, they will have to sit for the examination. The examination is basically being conducted by the Insurance Institute of India, and they need to pass that examination. And the passing percentage is basically considered to be 70%. If you secure more than 70%, then you are passed. So once you get passed in that examination, all details of yours, which includes the completion of the 21 days mandatory training period as well as the successful passing of the examination, and all your details along with some license fee, whereby the license fee nowadays is basically 750 rupees, which is basically being paid by the insurance company itself, for which you will work as an agent. So that will be submitted before the IRDA, and every insurance company is having a designated person who can take care of all these things. So that designated person will have to move all the details of the agents to the IRDA, asking the IRDA to go through it and grant a license to them. Once the license is being given, it will be directly given to the insurance company or to the designated person. Then the designated persons will have to hand it over to the agents. So this is the process actually. The designated person may, on receipt of the application along with proof of the payment and on being satisfied that the applicant possesses the qualification and as the practical training, has passed the examination, submitted application duly completed, requisite knowledge to solicit, procure insurance business. This knowledge is basically being imparted to the agents through the training. As I said to you, there is a 21 days mandatory training period, and in this mandatory training period, all the agents will be provided with sufficient knowledge regarding the products which they ultimately have to deal with. Also, the designated person must have to ensure that the agents are capable of providing the necessary service to policyholders. On this basis, the license will be granted or renewed along with identity card to the agent. So license issued as above entitles the applicant to act as an insurance agent for the life insurer as well as for the general insurer. So any individual can act as an agent, and nowadays you can also find that some corporate organizations, some you can say that business organizations also act as agents. They are considered to be the corporate agents. For corporate agents, the licensing fee is different, and for individual agents, the licensing fee is different. Now, in case of corporate agents, they have identified a pool of their employees who will have to be trained, particularly about the products, and accordingly, the corporate will get the agency license. License is generally being given for a period of 3 years. Every 3 years, depending upon the performance of the agents, depending upon whether the agents have fulfilled all the criteria or not, the license will be renewed. Otherwise, the license will be terminated. Then come to find out what are the different roles being played by the insurance agents. And as we have pointed out that it is the insurance agents who ultimately act as a linkage between the insurance company and the insured. So they are having a multifaceted role. There are different types of roles being played by the agents, but we need to focus on the major types of roles. So first role is basically related to that the fact that insurance agent helps in promoting and selling of insurance products and services to its customer. It is a fact because ultimately it is the agents of the insurance companies who directly come to the field, who directly come in contact with the ultimate prospects or ultimate insured. So they need to promote as well as sell the insurance products and services. So with whomsoever who acts as an agent, you have done the or you have purchased the insurance policy, it is the responsibility of your agent that it needs to provide all sorts of services which are required by you pertaining to the insurance product that you have purchased from him. Then giving sound financial advisory services and customer support to the client. So definitely advisory services are required by the customers, and without giving proper advice to them, they cannot be in a position to take a proper decision whether to go for purchasing the insurance policy or not. So that financial advisory, sound financial advisory services must have to be given by the agent to the customers, and also they need to provide all sorts of customer support. Needs to deal with not only individuals but their families and corporate businesses too. So the role of the agent is not limited to identify individual prospects only. Rather, it can also deal with the families of the insured and also the corporate businesses. Needs to have good relationship, including good rapport with his or her existing and prospective clients. Because it's a service oriented business, and the agent is actually rendering the service on behalf of the company. So by way of rendering the service, the agent automatically becomes a family member or becomes a family friend. So uh, the agent must have to uh, take this into his or her heart, that whoever is the customer of him or of her, the customer is supposed to be family member. So as we are all trying to know or stand by our family members at the time of difficulty and need to share all the happinesses of our family members. Similar in the similar fashion, the agent must have to do that also in case of his customers. Sorry. So then the next role is basically related to the general awareness about the market, because the insurance market, as you know, goes on to fluctuate over time period. And what is the market condition? In what way the insurance business will behave in future times to come? So all sorts of awareness about the market must have to be there, must have to be present there with the agents. Promotion of insurance brands needs to have a carefully drawn roadmap. So whatever insurance brands the agent is promoting, particularly here the brand is related to the company for which the agent is working. So if it is trying to promote the insurance brand, it needs to have a carefully drawn roadmap. A particular roadmap must have to be drawn properly by the agent so that the agent can promote the insurance brands with all effectiveness. Then marketing strategies needs to be drawn and redrawn from time to time, keeping in mind the customer preference. Because the agents are supposed to ensure the marketability of the insurance products, so it is the agents who will have to come out with their own marketing strategy. What strategies should they adopt so that it will help them in garnering more and more customers? So those type of strategies they need to come out with. So strategies should be drawn and redrawn from time to time, because the preferences of the customer goes on changing from time to time. Then well-planned strategies and plans needs to be chalked out. So whatever strategies have been made by the insurance agents, if they find that or if they satisfy themselves that it's a well-planned strategy, then they need to execute that well-planned strategy also. Public relation building exercise should be given significant importance because they are dealing with public in general. So they must have some PR, PR exercise. They must have some PR strategies, some public relation tools being present with them, so that with the help of those tools, with the help of those skills, they can well maintain the relationship with the public. And business development tactics needs to be pursued aggressively. So whatever the agents do, ultimately they need to ensure the development of business. So aggressively they need to ensure the development of business. They should not sit idly after doing, suppose, 10, 15 policies, or after selling 10, 15 policies, they should not sit idly. Rather, they should ensure that their business is developing, and for that, they must have to come out with certain business development strategy. So these are the different roles being played by the insurance agents, both in the life as well as in the non-life. Now coming to the duties and responsibility of an insurance agent. So these are the different duties and responsibilities, because we have already found out the roles, whereby in the roles we found what the agents must have to do, And because the agents are accountable before the customers, because it is the face of the agents by looking at which the customers have purchased the policies. And similarly, the agents are also accountable before the insurer, as it is acting as a linkage between the insurer and the insured. So it is accountable to both the parties. And for that, the insurance agents have some responsibilities to discharge. They have some responsibilities towards the insurance company. They have some responsibilities as well as duties towards the customers. So if you go on to enlist what are the different duties and responsibilities of the insurance agents, we can say that one of the major duty is of the insurance agents is to identify prospective clients and analysis the needs of clients. It is basically the duty. They need to identify the prospects first, who are supposed to purchase the product, because ultimately they have to sell the product. So just like any other owner of the product, because the agents are trying to sell the product of their on behalf of their principal, so they must think that it is their own product, and accordingly they need to identify the prospects. They need to identify who are supposed to be the customers of their products. So they need to identify the prospects, and at the same time they need to analyze the needs of the client, because as you know, depending upon the needs of the client, they need to offer products to them, as there are different or varied needs and requirements of the clients. So accordingly, different types of insurance products have been designed by the insurance company. So depending upon the needs of the client, the insurance agent can go on to sell the required product which is required by the client. Then second duty is basically to have an excellent knowledge of various products of insurance, because they are dealing with insurance products. So they need to have that much of awareness, that much of knowledge on all those products which they are supposed to sell. So it is applicable to all such distribution channel members who are ultimately trying to sell any of the products. Unless and until you have the knowledge about the products, you cannot convince a person to purchase your product. So the duty of the insurance agent, that since it is dealing with a number of insurance products, whether it is related to life insurance or it is related to general insurances, since it is dealing with a number of products, it must have to possess fair and adequate knowledge on all the products which it is supposed to sell. Then to ensure that the information filled in the proposal form of client is correct. As we have already pointed out in the earlier slides, that whatever formalities are required to be fulfilled at the time of fulfillment of the proposal form, that is the responsibility of the agents, that they need to ensure that all those formalities have been filled up properly. That is the reason why we are saying that before submitting the proposal form with the development officer, the agent must have to go through that. The agent must have to ensure that whatever formalities are required to be fulfilled in the proposal form, all of them have been filled up properly by the customer. Then to be responsible for collecting the necessary documents such as age proof, ID proof, and so. As we all know that when we go on to purchase any insurance product, the products are basically considered to be financial products. So we just are not getting those insurance products freely. For that, we are supposed to pay some amount in the form of premium. So in any and that is why we can say that whatever money is being spent on purchasing the insurance product, that money is basically in the form of investment. So whenever we go for any investment, definitely we are supposed to fulfill certain documents, or we are required to disclose certain documents, certain informations which are contained in certain documents. Similar case happens in case of insurance products also. So whatever documents are required for whichever insurance products, those documents are needed to be furnished. And it is the responsibility of the agent, because the agent is directly coming in touch with the clients. So the responsibility of the agent is that it has to ensure that all such documents which are required along with the application form or along with the proposal form actually have been furnished. Then to disclose the clients the premium and various charges and commission. So generally it is not being given by the agents. Only the premium amount is being provided as information by the agents. No agent goes on to tell you what commission he is supposed to get. But in many cases, because of the competitiveness in the market, since many number of agents have come out into this time period, so generally it is observed that some big agents or some agents who are supposed to have a lot of policies to their credit, which they have procured, they basically sacrifice some of their commission amount in order to ensure the growth of their business. Suppose a person is trying to develop its business and he or she is supposed to sell, suppose 10 number of policies in a month. And the person knows that it is not possible on his part to procure 10 number of policies. So it can give some offer to the clients. Suppose it finds that in each policy it is going to get a commission amount of 3,000 each. So it can offer that 3,000 rupees to the client. If you pay 10,000 rupees as commission, I will give you 3,000 rupees. So that ultimately you will have to pay only 7,000 instead of 10,000 rupees for the first premium. Then the renewal premium, whatever amount will come, you will go to spend that as renewal premium. So that kind of situation arises in this modern day competitive environment of agency. The thing is that it is the responsibility of the agent that it needs to disclose, because the agent is getting the money because of the client. And as we have already pointed out that the agent and the clients are supposed to act as family members. So there is no need to hide anything before your family members. They can clearly say that if you purchase this policy, this is the amount of commission I am going to get. So the amount of commission or the percentage of commission, the premium amount, the charges, everything has to be disclosed by the agent to ensure the remittance of premiums by policyholder within the stipulated time. So there is a time frame being given. You must have known that in case of renewal premium, a 1 month time is being given. Within that 1 month, if you pay, then you don't need to pay any interest or any extra charges. Suppose January 30 is your premium date. So up to February 28, because 28 is the last date of the next month. So up to February 28, there is a period being given to you. Suppose you have not paid the premium by January 30th. So up to February 20th, you have the luxury to pay the premium amount without any extra charges. But if it goes beyond February 28th, then extra charges will be charged to pay. So that is the responsibility of the agent, that it has to ensure that the premium amount is being paid within the stipulated time period. To help underwriter in assessing risk, to help clients to make any changes and help legal beneficiaries for claim settlement. So definitely at the time of claim settlement, it is the agent who on behalf of its client will have to ensure the proper processing of the claim and accordingly ensure the payment of the claim amount so that it can be paid to the client directly by the insurance company. Then if you look at the approach, what should be the approach of the agent towards the insurance business or towards the client? The approach itself suggests that the agents must be very straightforward in their approach. When they are being face to face with the prospect, they should make it clear that they are meeting the clients to render valuable services of ensuring financial security for the client or the family of the client through the insurance products. And the approach should be such that the agent must have to explain to the client the importance of the product, the importance of taking the insurance product, how it can be replaced. Insurance can fill the void created on the death of the breadwinner and enable his family. So this is applicable to the life insurance business, the third point. It can also happen with all other types of economic assets for which insurance can be sought. Similarly, the agent should arouse enough interest in the prospect so that the interview results into a successful close. Whatever interviews the agents can take from the prospect to ensure the successful closing of that interview, it has to arouse enough interest in the prospect. Think of the agent customer relationship. You can find that when the agent is in touch with the policyholder, it is likely that he may be invited for family functions. If the policyholder purchases a new house and the agent is aware of it, or if he is invited for the housewarming ceremony, he should advise the insured to inform the insurance company about the change of address. This will ensure that the policyholder receives all communication at his new residence. So any change in the documents that you have already provided at the time of submitting the proposal form, if any change arises in any of the documents which you have already provided at the time of submitting the proposal form, that should be intimated to the agent so that the agent can intimate it to the insurance company. So these are the things which are associated with the agents. And as I have pointed out that there is a age criteria, there is a qualification criteria, there is a completion of a training period criteria, there is a passing out of an examination criteria. Apart from that, there are some other aspects which are associated with the agents which are needed to be fulfilled with the agent. Then the agents need to get the license. So with the help of the designated person of the insurance company for which the agent is supposed to work, the agent can get the license. And as I said to you, license is being generally given for a period of 3 years. After that, it gets renewed. And within those 3 years, the agent has to perform well, or agent has to fulfill all the requirements which it is required to fulfill as per the IRDA norms, IRDA guidelines. Otherwise, the license may not be renewed. So in every 3 years, the license of the agent gets renewed. If suppose for 3 years you have not done any policy, automatically your license will be terminated. So the last part is basically related to the termination of agency, or which you can say that the suspension of appointment of an agent. What are the grounds on the basis of which the agents can get suspended? The agents who have been appointed by the insurance company, particularly by the development officers of the insurance company, can be suspended. So there are certain criteria. So it can be cancelled or suspended after due notice and after giving the agent a reasonable opportunity of being heard. On what ground? If he violates the provision of the Insurance Act. If during the course of this 3 years time period, the agent is found to violate the basic provisions of the Insurance Act, as well as the IRDA, the provisions of IRDA Act, or the rules and regulations made thereunder as amended from time to time, any violation of any of the provisions enshrined in such acts leads to the suspension of license by the license of the agent by IRDA. Similarly, if the agent attracts any of the disqualifications mentioned in clause VII of the Insurance Act 1938, then the agent, there is a chance that the license can be suspended or license can be terminated. If the agent fails to comply with the code of conduct stipulated in clause VIII and directions issued by the authority from time to time. So there is a certain code of conduct being given on the basis of which the agents have to work, because it is the agents who ultimately come directly in contact with the customers, who are dealing with the customer money. So any bad intention on the part of the agents can result in a loss of money by the public. So for that, a code of conduct has been prescribed by IRDA, and accordingly, all agents have to abide by that code of conduct. So, any violation of the said code of conduct which have been prescribed by IRDA can lead to the suspension of license of the agent. Similarly, if IRDA suppose have issued some directives, issued some directions for the agents, and if the agents are not abiding by those directions, if it is found that the agents are not abiding by the directions, then the license of those agents will definitely be taken away. Similarly, if the agent furnishes wrong or false information or conceals or fails to disclose material facts in the application submitted for appointment of agent or during the period of its validity. So related to the age, related to the qualification, related to the other information, if any false information, wrong information has been given by the agent, then also the IRDA has all the right to terminate the agency license. So these are the basic things which are associated with the termination of agency. And overall, it is all about what insurance agency is. Is it clear to all of you? Or anybody has to ask anything? Tell me. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, yes, sir.
So our 4th unit is over. Tomorrow we'll go on to start about the 5th unit. So notes of this unit I will send tomorrow to Vikas sir, so that he will share it with all of you. Sunday we will go on to discuss about some of the important questions. Will it be okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all. Thank you for your patience hearing. Thank you.
वो दिनकर ऐसा कर सकता है, लेकिन हमारे सेठ जी नहीं। मुझे मेरे सेठ जी पर पूरा विश्वास है। मेरा भी सेठ जी पर पूरा विश्वास है।